You're listening to Urban Internet News, national news and information for and about people of color.
Welcome to UIN. I'm Alexander Caden, along with Camille Brooks and Brooklyn Alexander. Brooklyn?
At first, it was the elderly. Now, experts at Emory University say COVID-19 has a new target demographic with people 20 to 50 years of age and Latino and Black communities testing positive the most. Miami is now on track to become the nation's new epicenter. At least 22 states are seeing sharp increases in coronavirus cases. Experts advise adjusting to the new normal, wear masks, face shields, and use social distancing because this virus is not leaving anytime soon. Multiple policemen from the Aurora Police Department were placed on paid leave following allegations of inappropriate photos near the site where Elijah McClain died. One of the officers, Jerron Jones, has resigned. Authorities are not releasing details about the photos. They are only saying that the photos will be made public once investigations are complete.
The presiding judge in the George Floyd murder case has said that the case could be moved to a different part of Minnesota, inserting a new element of doubt in what on the surface seems to be an open and shut case of excessive force turned deadly. In an effort to stop perpetuating racial stereotypes, the San Francisco police chief announced they'll stop releasing the mugshots of people who've been arrested unless they pose a threat to the public. The policy, which goes into effect immediately, means the department will no longer release booking photos of suspects to the media or allow officers to post them online. A Roman Catholic priest in Carmel, Indiana, has been suspended from public ministry after calling Black Lives Matter organizers maggots and parasites in a message to his church members. He also stated that Black Lives Matter protesters are serpents in the garden whose poison is more toxic than any pandemic we've endured. The priest is insisting he didn't intend to offend anyone.
In a history-making move, Mississippi lawmakers voted to eliminate the Confederate symbol from the state flag. The emblem, which had been flying for 126 years, will be replaced with a new design that still maintains the slogan, "In God We Trust." Voters will have the opportunity to decide on the forthcoming new design in November. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves will sign the bill calling for a newly designed flag whenever it crosses his desk. If scholars, crowd-counting experts, and recent polls are correct, Black Lives Matter is the largest movement in American history. According to the calculations, 15 to 26 million people participated in demonstrations over the deaths of George Floyd and others. Those numbers surpass even the ones created by the Women's March of 2017, which had a turnout of about 3 to 5 million people in one day.
For the first time in history, non-white people and Hispanics make up the bulk of those who are 16 and younger and living in the United States. The Associated Press reported that the U.S. Census Bureau is expected to release its new data. If the current demographic trend keeps up and are documented and reflected in the 2020 census, it will be the first time in history that data showed a decline in the number of white people in America. 8 police officers, including 3 that are black, in Louisiana were indicted on charges of excessive force for allegedly beating 2 men who had raised their arms in surrender when pulled from a car for a seatbelt violation. Dashcam footage from a sheriff's deputy's vehicle shows both men raise their hands and then stuck both hands out the window in an apparent attempt to surrender without resistance. Shreveport officers pulled both men from the truck through the windows, then began striking, kicking, and tasing them. Medical records show 1 man suffered injuries. Police found a very small amount of ecstasy, cocaine, and a stolen gun that were thrown from the window of the car during the chase. But the district attorney dismissed all charges against the 2 men because of the alleged excessive force that was used. The black former Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain has been hospitalized with the coronavirus. This comes after attending Trump's Tulsa, Oklahoma rally, where he was seen on a video dancing to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. Here's Camille Brooks.
Dozens of Republicans are forming a group that will back Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden in a sign that President Donald Trump has alienated some members of his own party. The group will publicly endorse Biden and plan to campaign for the former vice president. The Chronicle of Higher Education has been tracking colleges and their plans for reopening in the fall amid coronavirus concerns. They found that roughly 65% of colleges are planning for in-person classes come August. It also found that just 8% of colleges are planning to remain remote. A separate recent survey of college students across the U.S. conducted by Core Spaces found that 90% of respondents wanted to return to campus this fall, with nearly 73% reporting that they would like to return to school even if online instruction continued.
A white couple from Clarkston, Michigan have been arrested and charged with a felony after a video showed the woman pointing a gun at a black mother and her 2 daughters. We really don't know what's going on with 45, but both CNN and the Washington Post say Donald Trump threatened to sue his own campaign manager over a slew of damaging poll numbers. Trump erupted during a phone conversation saying, "I'm not losing to Joe Biden." He just said it using a few different words that I'm not going to use. Civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton talked about the state of race relations in America on the 4th of July amid a surging pandemic. We get this from the Associated Press.
Trump running around talking about make America great again. Give me the date America was great for everybody. Wasn't never great for white women. They couldn't even vote in 1920. They didn't even let their own wives, their own mama vote. Wasn't great for blacks, wasn't great for Native Americans, wasn't great for immigrants. When was America great? Again suggests that there was a time we were great. When was it, Mr. Trump?
You've been listening to UIN. For news and information for and about people of color, visit our website at uinews.net.